Okay, our next two speakers are Ivana and Antonio from Virgin Pulse. They're taking from what they described as a standard customer service into being a superb one. And by doing that, they've actually managed to contain a lot of the calls. So please welcome to the stage Antonio and Ivana.
Hi everyone, welcome. Let me tell you about our story and how we got here. Virgin Pulse is a well-being company, a health platform, and we are a global team, award-winning team with, here we are, sorry about that. So, award-winning team, global team with an international client base. We are a team with high engagement score and high CSAT, so we are in 90s. We have different support channels, phone, email, chat. We have in-app direct message, voice options, and everything else that is really good for our users' user experience. We weren't this good in the past, so we decided to add different options for self-service in our customer success. We decided to invest in RPA and automation options, and we decided to create a self-service team called e-services. They started to look our platform as a first-time users. They started with the premise, every question is an answer, and go through the platform and the programs which we got to the point of 2K articles and video tutorials. E-services continued to grow, and we added a lot in that space. We got, at that time, like 5 years ago, a bot that it was a basic keyword recognition bot that had only 3% of the containment rate, which was good at the time, but as we grew, we needed something more. We needed something better. So we started our search, and we found Cognigy. Cognigy was our option last year, and we introduced the conversational bot to our chat in October. Even if since it's only 4 or 5 months old, we saw the results that were amazing and that we are going to continue to evolve. Our containment rate from 3% went up to 40+%. And our CSAT remained in high 90s. My colleague Antonio will definitely tell you about challenges, our success story regarding the tech behind the success we had.
Thank you, Ivana. Before I start with our use case, I would like to spend a couple of minutes just talking about why we actually choose Cognigy as our conversational AI platform. To give you a bit more context, last year in May, my team was tasked with the research of the conversational AI platforms, and we probably researched around 7 or 8 different conversational AI platforms, and at the end, it came down to top 3 choices, and at this moment it was really hard for us to, when we placed those conversational AI platforms side to side, feature-wise, they were all somewhere there, so there was no big difference in that area, so at this point it was quite hard for me to make, let's say, a decision on which platform should we go with. But I identified 3 factors that made Cognigy apart from other platforms. The first one, so when I first created my account on Cognigy, logged in on a trial environment, I was actually building bots and deploying them on different endpoints within first 15 minutes. That is something that I rarely experience, not just with conversational AI platforms, but any solution that you can take to experience that kind of easy onboarding. And this was, the navigating through the interface, it felt so natural and easy for me, and since I have an engineering background, it showed me that the architecture and background is most likely well built. The second factor that I identified when it comes to Cognigy is that I think that Cognigy has achieved an optimal balance between being friendly to regular users, but at the same time it gives you option to expand its original features through extensions, plugins, code nodes, and similar. So it was really important for me while making the decision that we are in no way limited in the future while building our solution on this platform. And the last thing is that the support that we had from Cognigy. So right from the first day until till this day, the amazing support that we got is just unparalleled. So don't get me wrong, we also received a very good support from other platforms, but Cognigy is just a level beyond that. So now let's see how these three factors played a role in our first chatbot that we built. At the beginning of the project, we had a really simple goal, which is that we wanted to increase the containment rate. So like Ivana said, on our old chatbot, we had around 3% of containment rate, and that was our metric that we wanted to increase. And we identified following requirements for the first phase of the development. We knew that chatbot had to be able to perform natural language understanding and processing, and we knew that we are going to train it on our around 500 public articles from our help center. And we wanted to design it to act as a first line of support. Of course, it needed to perform the handover in case NLU is not able to recognize the intent, or offer ticket creation if there is no agent available at the moment. And we also knew that we needed to increase the user experience of when comparing it to existing chatbot. So, and we also wanted to make the chatbot feel like it's a part of our platform by integrating the user profiles from authenticated users. So now I'll go through each of these requirements, and we will see some of the challenges that we faced during the implementation. The first one was how do we actually get those articles from our help center into Cognigy? And my immediate thought for this one was, I don't want to design a system that will make anyone from member service have to maintain separately the articles and the intents. And because there are around 500 of those articles, and they are really well maintained and updated on daily basis. Other thing, of course, I didn't want to write example sentences for each and every article. So the first challenge was how do we actually transform an article that looks like this into something like this in Cognigy? And what we actually built was an automation pipeline that handles that from very start to actual deployment of the agent. So the pipeline, we probably wrote around 20 Python scripts, and we utilized the Cognigy APIs to achieve this. So it does everything from the exporting of the articles, converting them to Cognigy intents. We also use GPT-4 to generate the example sentences. Then we upload and train those intents on Cognigy. We also implemented multi-agent staging, and that is also handled from the pipeline itself. So this completely eliminated any chance of human error, and also it sped up the process by much. Now at this point, we had the intents, we have the NLU built. The next challenge was how do we actually fit this kind of content into a space like this. Some of these articles are really long and they contain a lot of images, so it was really challenging to have some kind of good user experience. We initially had some ideas, like we would split the articles into chunks and display them with the next and previous button, but I felt like the user experience for that kind of navigation was poor. What we did, we wrote a separate Cognigy plugin that was dedicated for rendering of those articles. It has two ways of how the articles are displayed. Short articles are displayed fully, while longer articles are displayed only partially with the option to read them in a full screen mode. And the result was this. So this article from our help center looks like this in Cognigy. So at this stage, we have the NLU, we have a way of understanding the members' intent, we have a way of displaying those articles. Now, the next challenge was how do we actually handle the cases when the NLU isn't able to recognize the intent. Of course, we needed to handle that, and the next challenge was how do we do the Zendesk integration. In my opinion, this was the most complex part of this chatbot because we needed to write an orchestration between the Zendesk SDK. We used the chat SDK along with the Cognigy intents in our web channel. There are some of the requirements here. And what is actually interesting, some of these requirements forced us to build our own plugin type. So I'm not sure how many of you use the plugins, but you can see on the top part of the first widget, there is an overlay message along with the attachment and chat button below. So to achieve that, we actually had to fork our own copy of Cognigy web chat widget, and we did the implementation there, and the result was that we have a persistent UI elements during the handover. In this case, it shows the queue number of the member with an option to upload a file or to end chat. And this is just an example how it looks like when the member is connected to the agent. Besides those requirements, we also used two Cognigy extensions. Both of them were existing ones, so the file upload and the Zendesk extension, but we did some minor tweaks to make it work with our chatbot. And yeah, of course, other requirements were fulfilled, like if there are no agents available, we would offer a ticket creation, or we would search for the articles as a fallback option if the intent isn't recognized. One more interesting thing about this is how we are actually orchestrating events between the Zendesk and Cognigy. So there are actually three components in play. So for example would be when the user wants to create a ticket, what we also do, we send a transcript of the conversation to the agent. And how we actually do that is that we send a data message from Cognigy that is handled on a web chat. So we are listening for a specific data message, and within our web chat, we are sending, we are extracting the transcript from the browser of the user and sending that back to Cognigy, which then Cognigy forwards to Zendesk. And just to give you a bit idea how complex this was, this is how the flow, so it's zoomed out, but these are all of the different types of messages that are being handled between the member and the agent. What is also interesting, we actually built our own micro front-end library and application to handle this, and it's deployed on 5 different places. So what we achieved it was a single code base that can be run on different places, because we have this on login screen, on a member screen, and other screen as well. So at this point, as said, we have the NLU, we have a way of user to interact with the chatbot. We have also a fallback plan if the intent is not recognized. At the final stage, we invested time into improving the UX. So this wasn't just done at the final stage. We had multiple review sessions with Cognigy, because this was our first interaction with conversational AI, and we weren't that fluent in how the conversations should be designed. And here, Cognigy team was of great help and provided us with great feedback on how to actually design our chatbot. Next thing, as mentioned, we also wanted to feel like the chatbot, when it pops out on your screen, that it feels like it's part of the platform. And that's how, that is why we integrated the user profiles in it. So now when the member wants to create a ticket or requests a handover, the chatbot knows the email and all other details and doesn't ask that for authenticated members. And last, we did several iterations of review with our internal UX team to get design just right. And this was the final overview of the solution. So we can see that there is a lot of code involved in our chatbot. So as mentioned, we have the micro frontend application library. We use Cognigy plugins, we use Cognigy extensions, we even use a custom version of web chat widget to achieve some of the requirements. As for Cognigy, there are 34 flows that we built, and because of the automation, we heavily utilize the Cognigy API. And when you look at this, so it's this use case, I think it's a good example on how you can utilize Cognigy way beyond its original features that are maybe only available on the UI. So it shows how you can streamline your process and speed up the deployment of the agent, and also how to make it more, let's say, reliable and secure. And this is a bit like a mix and match between the engineering and the member service team and their requirements that we got. With that being said, I will hand over to Ivana just to give closing words for our future steps.
Hi again. So since we are at the start of our journey and bot is providing only general articles, we started thinking of what's next. We are not as advanced as there are bots in the space, but we are going to do the personalized support with client and program-specific details throughout the bot. We will add details and options to connect to our third-party vendors, so the member can easily go from us to the vendor and ask questions if needed to resolve the issue or get info on, I don't know, order tracking or something like that. The final step on our side is the voice bot. We are going to invest a lot in that space, and we will improve the UX on voice that we have, because currently we are only using visual IVR. Thank you.